Today we are going to talk about the steps that you need to take to research, plan, prepare, and launch your video to become viral. And we'll also talk about the company that's positioning itself to be a contender to YouTube, what they're doing to position themselves that way, and what their plan is for dethroning YouTube. That and a lot more is coming up. Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer and it's Tuesday, which means it's time to take a look at the online video news from last week and talk about the implications that it has for us as creators. And first of all, I want to talk about two new updates to the YouTube platform. The first is now when you do a live streaming event through your YouTube channel, it will now automatically display as the channel trailer in that, the video that unsubscribed viewers see when they visit your channel. Now, you can just say, hey, we are going to live at a certain time on a certain day, and just go to youtube.com/your channel name to see it. That really simplifies the process for us in promoting our live events, because before you had to either reserve that URL and feature that, or you could just tell people to go to your channel when it's live and look for the video that's there. It just was a very cumbersome system. The question is, does this also work with Google Plus Hangouts on Air? And the answer is yes, thankfully it does, but instead of doing that through the live management system that you would if you're doing a live streaming event, instead you do it through the video manager. After that video is kind of queued up as a Hangout on Air and ready to go, then you can change it there in the video manager. Now, of course, people will still need to click through to actually go to the watch page of that video if you want them to interact with comments or anything like that, but at least it makes it very drop dead simple for them to find your live event in the first place. Another little update for you guys who are using in-video programming to promote and feature one of your videos across all videos on your website. Well, now you can add a little custom text that will display for 3 seconds when your in-video programming shows up, and then it will be replaced after 3 seconds by the default text, which is suggested by your channel name. YouTube has also taken away the ability for us to determine exactly which points in the video we want our in-video programming to appear or disappear. They made it very standard now that you can only select a duration of 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or up to 15 seconds. And they've also limited which corners it can display, and just kind of making it more of a uniform experience across all videos on YouTube, which I think is a very welcome thing, because now people actually know what to expect and what they're seeing, and it just makes it more predictable for the user. Some new research that came out last week that I know will at first sound like very welcome news for us as creators is that the advertising spending on online video is up by 24% from this past half of the year to where it was in 2012. In the first half of 2012, $1.1 billion were spent in online video advertising, and now here in this first half of 2013, $1.3 billion have been spent. So at first that sounds awesome, right? Hey, there's more money coming into the system, so hopefully now I will be able to get paid more for my videos than I used to, but those of us as creators probably know that that's not really what our experience has been. And that is partially due to some of the findings that Pew Research found and announced last week, and that the number of people who are uploading video content to the internet has more than doubled in the past 4 years. In fact, 1/3 of all internet users have uploaded video content to the web. Now, what I find depressing about it, though, is that 45% of them are uploading videos of their pets. So while it's true that there is more money coming into the space, it's also true that that money is being divided up among many more people than ever before. Now, common sense tells me that at some point there's going to be a ceiling, either to the money that's coming in or to the number of people who are uploading content, and then we'll kind of see things taper off. But right now, you guys know, online video, this whole space is just the Wild West right now. It's just this big land grab that everyone is just rushing for. So it's just crazy right now, and we're not going to see things balanced for a long time. So hopefully you have a long-term view for your channel, and unlike all these people who are uploading pet videos, it was 35% of those people who uploaded their pet videos did so expecting that their video would go viral. I mean, you gotta have a much bigger, better strategy than that. Unless, of course, that is your strategy. And there's a great post that I will link to in the description text below this video. You guys can go click and check it out over at Moz.com. And over there, someone from Fractal outlines their exact process that they go through for creating viral content. Now, this post isn't about video necessarily. It's just about web pages, infographics, just content in general, but a lot of these same principles can apply very easily to video. The first part is they have to define what the parameters are, and that includes, what topic are they working with for the client and what emotions are they going to be arousing in this content and other things. And then they do a ton of research around that topic to see what has already performed well on the web around that topic. So they go to places like BuzzFeed and to Reddit. Of course, they go to Google and a number of other websites that they list out in that post where they do research to find what has worked before in the past. And then they take all that data and they kind of synthesize it together into a spreadsheet that help them kind of break down what are the common themes here, and they come up with a couple common themes that they see throughout all those viral posts that worked well before. And then they take all those themes and they go through this process of connecting those themes to very random objects and the very random ideas to see what they come up with. Then they take what they come up with and run it through a grid of certain questions, like what were the consequences of this random thing and this idea coming together, what would that be, or what are the benefits of that, what would the circumstances have to be that would make it like a sensible solution, how would it really work, or what if we rearrange the sequence of events, how would that affect it, and they list a whole bunch of questions in that post also that they kind of just run the whole idea through. And then the ideas they get out of that process, they vet against a rubric, and then they have their actual idea that they run with and then publish. And so far it seems like most of their ideas are actually working out pretty well, and they've seen some good viral success. So again, if that's something you want more information about, I did no justice to the post at all. Just check out the link in the description text below and you can read the whole thing for yourself. Last week we talked about the Hummingbird algorithm update to Google search and how that is affecting 90% of the searches that people are making on YouTube, and thus how they are finding or not finding your video content. And the main thrust of that update, as we said, is that now Google is taking more into account people's intent rather than keywords. And Moz.com has another great post talking a little bit more about what that means for content now that keywords are becoming less and less significant. And actually Google Analytics isn't even showing keywords that are leading to traffic to your websites anymore. To really summarize it really briefly for you guys, basically what Moz is saying is that now that Google is moving away from keywords for search, it is now more important that we establish ourselves as authoritative in whatever niche or industry or topic that we are working in. So what that means for us in practical terms is that we've actually kind of got to stop thinking about the Google algorithm and how we can gain that to make our content rank well, and actually start doing more networking and getting links from other people in the same industry and working together and considering traffic sources like from Pinterest and SlideShare and other social networks, and really doing as much as you can to reduce your dependency on Google for driving traffic to your videos. And when you do that, ironically, that is most likely what will boost your rankings in the Google algorithm. So again, check out the link in the description text below for that post as well if you kind of want to read a little bit more in depth into that. And finally, it looks like Amazon is positioning themselves to be a contender against YouTube. It's been reported that Amazon has been talking to a lot of the major networks on YouTube, asking them, hey, what would it look like for us to offer something for you guys that you could host and your own video content off of YouTube, and we would be able to give you more lucrative ad revenue splits and give you more money for this whole thing. And Amazon might be the only player who could really come in with a decent enough infrastructure to really give YouTube a run for its money. Now I know a lot of us would immediately right up front say, no way, that could never happen. Who could ever detopple, is that a word? I don't know. It is now, YouTube. And if anyone's going to do it, I think it could be Amazon, because Amazon has proven themselves time and time again that they're actually in this for the long haul. They are spending lots of money up front in their Amazon Prime video on demand service, although they're not making a ton of money off of it. But in the long term, it probably will. And I think that's the view that Amazon has for competing against YouTube for more short form content. But I would love to hear from you guys what you think about that. Do you think that Amazon could be a contender to YouTube sometime in the future? And if it does become one, do you think that creators here in the YouTube space would be very quickly and likely to adapt to another platform? Or would they split between two, or they move completely over to one? Or just tell me your predictions in the comments below. And if this is your first time here, I'd love to have you subscribe. Every week we take a look in the online video news and talk about what it means for us as creators, just like you saw. And then on Wednesdays, we give you guys some gives you tips, ideas, suggestions, advice, just to help you guys out. And then also on Thursdays, we do some YouTube Q&A where I answer a question that one of you guys submits to me. Again, to help you guys, because I really believe that a lot of you guys have messages that could change the world, that could really influence people's lives if those people could just find and hear what you have to say. So thank you for letting me be a part of building your audiences and growing your channels here on YouTube and maybe eventually on Amazon. We'll see. Thank you for hanging out, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.